Right, good morning everyone. I've got that much on lately. I've decided I'm going to do an on the bench video because I haven't done one for quite a long while, 5-6 weeks I imagine, 4, 5, 6 weeks. So I'm going to crack on with it. I'm not going to faff. So what's on the bench this week? You might well ask. Here's a recap on Jamie's Epiphone V. This is going to have a complete refret and a complete overhaul. I've already explained this, it's got its own video, so I'm not going to talk about a lot, but what I really need to do on this now is the plate, the scratch plate that came with it, pickguard, it was custom, well, I say custom made, the guy cut it himself, and it's not brilliant, but it's not bad, so I've tidied it up and I've cut an hole in it for this pickup because it only had one pickup in here. Done all that. What I need to do this morning is I've redone the electrics. I'm going to show you the scratch plates in a minute, but I need to route this hole further back down here because it's where I've put the volume knob. So I'm going to route this bit out in a bit, and to do that I'm going to show you I bought myself a I love buying new tools. I've decided it's time for me to step this up a little bit and start actually, instead of going to other people when I want something building, I'm going to start building myself because you know, because I've got the skill. The only thing that was stopping was space. I know I've got the skill and I've got such high standards doing stuff, you know. Rather than trust someone to try and build up to my expectation or build to my expectation, I'm going to do it myself. And that way, I'm never going to be disappointed because if I make a mistake, I've made the mistake and that's it. So I'm going to show you, I bought just a small thing just to be getting on with. The Trend T4 palm router. Light duty, bit for pickup, cutting pickup, holes and neck pockets and the like. I've got a big router which is going to be mounted in a table as well, but that's going to be for all the body work I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to use that today for the first time. I'm going to use it on this guitar. I'm going to show you, I'm not going to faff about, I'm going to show you the scratch plate I've built. The scratch plate was built with pickguard. All I've done is I decided where I wanted. Now what I had to do is I had to use this hole and this hole because they were already drilled in. This was for, there was a kill switch there was no volume and tone, just a kill switch, there were no three-way and just an input. I've installed a three-way, I've put the tone where the kill switch was, I've got left the input where it is, and I've put the volume here, which is going to be right below this pickup. I've cut the hole for this pickup, so that's all going to go back together. I'm going to get the wiring done on that later. We've got a Gibson, genuine Gibson pot there for the volume and a CTS vintage pot for the tone. Get a capacitor on there, we use all cloth wiring, blah de blah. So I'm going to actually move on with these guitars and whiz them through because I've got a lot on, like I say. Moving back to my acoustic, I wanted to put a pickup in there, which I've done, but don't be put off by this wire hanging out here. That's not supposed to be there. It's an end pin jack. The reason it's hanging out is, while I've got the end pin still on there, the reason it's still hanging out is I need to drill a 12mm hole here so I can install this through the body, and I didn't have the right bit, so I've had to go and order a reaming bit, so that's on its way here. So I've got that to do. The pickup actually works, I've checked it. I used this guitar at church practice the other day. It sounds nice. So there's that one to finish. There's the Antoria I bought where I glued the fretboard back on my neck, that's all done. It's an absolutely lovely guitar. I refretted this, I forgot I'd done that. Yeah, I actually refretted this guitar. This had a complete refret, so that was done. The only thing now is the bridge. Some of the bolts are disintegrated, so I've got a replacement bridge to put on there, but that is done, more or less. I'll show you why I refretted it, if I can get close enough. I'm going to try and hold that steady a second or two. See how worn they were. So this had a complete refret. Got a bit of touching up to do on that. It plays absolutely brilliant, the action's nice. Like I say, I'm just going to replace that bridge. I've got a brand new one, I've got a similar looking one. It's not exactly the same. That's to be put on there. But it's the closest I could get to the original, so that'll have to go on. Whether I'll keep this or not, I don't know. I doubt it because I've got enough guitars. I've got Mitch Hamilton's PRS. It's a Mark Holcomb PRS. Absolute beauty. Strings are hanging off. because I did a setup and that on this, and he rung me up and he'd got a problem with a couple of frets buzzing. So I said a complete fret level. I've got to glue the nut back on and do a setup on that, so that's going to be done. That's another job today. And that really, I've got another 2 guitars which I'm going to show in a minute. I ain't got them all out yet because I ain't got enough space in this room right now. I've got 2 guitars in cases. I've got my Explorer Edwards over there, and I've got my Kramer over there, which I'm going to show in a minute. But I've got another guitar. This came in a couple of days ago. This came from a lad I met on Facebook from Fat Olive's rehearsal studio out in Hucknall there. Now, cracking lad he is. And he sent me a guitar, a Levington blade. It's a Korean blade, it's a Telecaster, and it wants a complete refret. So I'm going to talk about this for a minute because I love blade guitars. Now this is only a Korean import, but absolute beauty. It's got the VSC with 3 trim pots there. You know, it's like a built-in boost and EQ extra to the actual volume and tone on here. They sound absolutely great, these guitars. The necks on these, I've never known straighter necks on guitars. These are the Korean ones. I've never had to work on one of these necks. When I've had them, because I used to work with a bloke that imported blades and high-end blades as well. Where they used to get the Heritages come in, they always needed a bit of fretwork for it went out for sale, and that's straight from Kalamazoo. What's that about? But the blades, I've never had to touch one. So, but this one, let me come in closer. Can you see the frets there? They're very, very worn. It does need a refret. Now this was I imagine it was a cash converter's buy, so I think the lad got this cheap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a complete overhaul. I've not looked at the neck yet. I'm going to have a truss rod cover off in a minute. I'm going to make sure the truss rod works both ways because there's a bit of bow in this neck. I'm going to make sure it works both ways and make sure the neck's level and workable before I start doing a refret, because we don't want to start working on a dud. Now luckily I'm a bit of a neck specialist, as everyone knows, so we're going to get that right this morning. I'm going to check that over. Once I know that's alright, I'm going to go on order the fret wire, and that's a fret job to be done later in the week. I'm going to do Jamie's Flying V first, and then this one will be next online there. I've also got my other 2 guitars, which I'm not showing right now. I'm going to stop this video for a quick second. I'm going to get them all ready, prepared, and I'm going to oil them out, and I'm going to show you where I am with them two guitars. So, like, as you can see, plenty on. I'm going to be kept busy. Just give me a couple of minutes, and we're back. So, quickly moving on to my, remember my Edwards Explorer I bought myself last November? I had an accident with it, didn't I? I knocked it off its stand and it fell forwards and it smashed. The headstock, a bit of the headstock broke off, and there's a bit of a break in the body. Now, I've not completed all the work, but the headstock brake is fixed. It's snapped across here, straight across this hole. Now if you look at that, bar the finishing, it needs a bit more finishing work. I'm going to sand it back down. There's a crack across here and all across the front here, and you can see it. There's a bit of finishing work needs touching up, and that, but any of these cracks you can't see them. I glued that, braced it all up, just a bit of finishing work. So I'm going to sand this back. I'm going to refinish this bit. You cannot see the join on here. There's a crack right across there. There's a crack right across there. There was right across front, right across back. You can't see it. I've made a really, really good job of that. So a bit of finishing to do on there. Also, there's a crack on the front side, which I've not had a go at yet. See it around here, this area. I'm going to remove all the electrics, and I'm going to try and get this prized out a little bit from the back, get some glue in there. I'm going to get all flattened, clamped and sanded and clamped. So I'm going to try and fix that. I don't know how far I'll get with that, but if it goes anything like this headstock brake here, I'm going to have absolutely no reason to worry about any of that. So there's that one to finish off. That's going to go back in its case. There's no rush on that one. It's my own guitar. And finally, my Kramer. I went over to Hiscox Cases yesterday. I had a tour around the factory and went and met a mate down there. What a great place. I wasn't down there too long, down there about an hour. I had a little look around the place. Talked to my friend Robert Peach down there, met him for the first time, cracking bloke. I've done some work for him before. I did his 2005 Les Paul Specialist Gibson, if you remember. I did a fret level on that for him, and we talk to each other regularly. And if I ever need a case, if we've got any seconds knocking about down there and I need a case, he sorts me out, and he's done that with, before I show you the guitar, I went and picked up a case yesterday. Beautiful looking thing. It fits my Kramer, because I decided I'm going to keep the Kramer Focus 3000, the 1983 one. I've done all the work I needed to do on that. What I've done is, there's a couple of things I need to, I say I've done all the work, I ain't done all the work, it's cosmetic what I've got to do now. The Floyd Rose, original 1983, one of the first Kramer-Schala collaborations. Now we all know Kramer were building, they were the only builders and the makers of the original Floyd Rose. After Floyd Rose himself decided he couldn't do them by hand, the demand was too much, so Kramer started building them for him, and them in collaboration with Schala started making them. This is one of the first ones. But as you can see, it's got the direct screws into the body mounts there. The arm is a screw interface. I've took it off, I've put a modern one on. You see there, I've took the old one off, which just screwed in the hole, and put a modern one on just to make it better for me, and I've installed a big brass block, one of the big Floyd upgrades, big brass blocks there. I got picked up for 10 quid, brand new. Absolutely brilliant. So I've only got 2 springs on there, absolutely fine for me. All I need to do with this is to replace this nut. It's got an R2 nut on it, it's not wide enough. I'm going to put an R4 on there, same radius, I think it's a 10-inch radius. It'll be a little bit wider, and it'll have the correct clamps, because these aren't the right clamps here. But the guitar, it plays amazing, it plays like a dream. I absolutely love this guitar, it sounds fantastic. You got that really good 80s sound if you want it. I tend to play this on the single coil on this. It's got a custom Invader in there, custom shop one, brilliant pickup, but I find it a bit 2 metre, so on just one coil it sounds brilliant. But what I've got to do with this is look at the pick guard, it's all cosmetically, it's in a bad way, and the pickups need cleaning up, so I'm going to rip all that to pieces, and I'm going to mat all this up, this pick guard. I'm going to get some wire wool on there, and I'm going to get it all matted up so it looks a bit more dull. So I've got that to do. Cracking guitar, paid 140 notes for this. I'm going to keep it, I've decided I'm going to keep it. So that really is it from a bench right now. Regarding my Telecaster build, I'll have some news on that in a few days. I'm not going to talk about that right now, but that's still going to be happening. What I'm going to also do today, like I say, I'm going to start working with router today, so I'm going to watch some videos, I'm going to get some scrap wood, going to have a play about before I go cut it into anything. And I'm going to start honing my skills and start looking towards building, or at least building my own bodies. Next, not that I'm not ready for next, it's I don't have the space and I don't have a workshop. I mean, this is a front room in a terraced house, you know, converted into a mini workshop. I don't really have the room here. If I had a garage, yeah, it'd be sound, but I don't have a room for installing router tables, and I don't have the facilities for cutting necks and stuff just yet. I want to be moving on into the building side. But at the moment I'm quite happy to push my Frets and Floyds are my specialty. I was talking with Robert Peach about this yesterday. It's just a good name. So I'll look into Frets and Floyds, because I'm a Floyd Rose specialist. I've been a Floyd player for over 30 years. Frets and necks I've been doing a lot of this year. Frets are my specialty. I really pride myself on that. I've got 2 fret jobs to do as it is. So I'm going to push the frets. My new website, I'm going to push my new website. It's called fretfriend.net. I've not built the website yet, I've got a front page up there, but I'm going to try and concentrate on that a little bit more. Fretwork, I say, frets and necks, Floyd Roses, you know, if my specialty is what I'm good at, I might as well push that, so I'm going to do that for a bit. I'm going to carry on doing setups, which I love, and I'll carry on, you know, expanding my skills and owning my skills, and keep practicing and keep, you know, keep things good. I've had some very interesting projects lately. I've got some more interesting projects coming up, so you know, I'll keep you abreast with all things that are happening, and you know, stay tuned. If there's anything you want doing, give me a buzz. My rates are brilliant. My work, I can back all my work up. Go and check my website, christianguitars.co.uk or fretfriend.net. Check my reviews on Facebook, which is facebook.com /NG17, all one word, NGONESEVEN /. Go and check my reviews on there. I've got all my reviews are 5-star reviews. You know, and you know the way I do things. Check me out. Give me a chance. Till I see you next time. Be good to each other. I'll talk to you soon.